I'd like to welcome Vinamra Longani, Head of Operations of Serene and Company on this broadcast. The world is gripped with recession fears, Mr. Longani. You have rising fuel costs as well, and aviation at large has been notoriously fickle as an industry. And in the light of all of that, how do you see the future of Akasa Air panning out?
Well, you see, in my opinion, India is a huge opportunity for not just the airline industry, but also for other stakeholders in the aviation industry. You see, barely 2 to 3% of the people in our country fly at this point in time. So I mean, in my opinion, like I said, it's great to see a brand new airline take to the skies. I happen to be on the first flight, and the team has done a phenomenal job of getting this aircraft, getting this airline into the skies within record time. And simultaneously, one must also commend the regulators and the Ministry of Civil Aviation for having expedited these approvals. And we have a brand new airline in the country. So overall, I see a great future for the aviation industry in India.
And can you also explain with some precedence, because it's such a capital intensive industry and a capital intensive sector as well, with very skewed profit margin, operating profit margins as such. So for an entrepreneur like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who is known to be the man of Dalal Street, who's known to see profit and everything he touches really turns into gold. How will he be able to really get the profit that he may have desired in a industry with the kind of macroeconomic situation looming large?
Well, all you've got to do really is look at Indigo. I mean, we've got an airline in India now which has got over 280 aircraft and has been profitable. Of course, the pandemic has taken a toll on airlines globally. So if you leave that aside, Indigo has built a profitable airline, a profitable, sustainable airline, which is looked up to the world over, by across the world. So, you see, after the demise of Jet Airways and Kingfisher, it is Indigo that has actually put India on the forefront all over again. So the India opportunity, when you look at the India opportunity, everyone sort of, the first person that comes to mind is Indigo. And they've been able to capture that. So you see, in today's day and age, while it may be difficult to do another Indigo because of the fact that we've got Indigo with close to 300 aircraft, but that does not mean that it can't be done. You see, and
hence it is going to be Indigo that's going to be closely watching this particular airline. I believe my producers tell me, took the first Akasa Air flight. How was that experience? What did you experience? Tell us everything about how it felt being in the first flight of Akasa Air.
Okay, well, not just me. I guess there were a huge bunch of aviation enthusiasts and av geeks who basically made their way to Bombay to get onto this first flight. I mean, let's be honest, it's historic. We have a brand new scheduled airline in the country. Yes, they're a low-cost airline, but they've taken care of small things like offering USB charging on every seat. Now, you see, coming back to Indigo, how does a brand new low-cost airline differentiate itself from a competitor which owns a significant market share in a country like India? So you take care of the small things. So they offer USB charging on every seat. When it came to things like meals, etc., I mean, the meal that I was served, and I'd pre-booked one, the actual quantity of the meal seemed to be significantly more compared to maybe what's offered on competitors. So it's these small things that the team at Akasa has obviously sat down and put their minds to it to see how we can differentiate ourselves in this uber competitive low cost space that we're in India. And coming back to the first flight, of course, first flights are historic. Everyone was ecstatic on takeoff, similarly on landing. This is, again, just to bring in Boeing, this is a huge win for Boeing and for the Boeing 737 MAX program, because they've got a brand new operator in the country who has ordered 72 aircraft. So overall, I think it's great news. Yes, the industry's been facing headwinds because of high fuel prices, but fuel prices are now starting to fall, and we're starting to see that trickle down, that benefit trickle down to the airlines. So overall, I'm an eternal optimist. It's great to have a brand new airline run by professionals who know what they're doing. And overall, it was just, I was overjoyed to be on the first flight, and it was phenomenal.
All right, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your experience of the first flight of Akasa Air as well. Thanks very much, Mr. Longani, for joining us.